Something is happening right now in British politics that many are calling the most dramatic crisis in decades. The Labour Party, once seen as the great hope for change, is now on the brink of collapse. A storm of resignations has torn through Keir Starmer's leadership, leaving him looking weak, isolated, and fighting for survival. But how did it get this bad? And what does it mean for the future of Britain? Let's go back to the start. The crisis began with whispers of corruption, whispers that billions of pounds of public money had been wasted on shadowy contracts and failed schemes. What was once dismissed as rumors has now been confirmed in leaked documents and insider testimony. More than £22 billion gone, vanished into the pockets of private companies, consultancies, and projects that never even existed. Imagine that money invested in the NHS and schools and rebuilding our broken transport system. Instead, it disappeared. What does that say about the priorities of those in power? As the truth came out, the Labour benches in Parliament imploded. 43 MPs, including senior shadow ministers, walked out live on camera. Some handed in resignation letters, others delivered furious speeches accusing the leadership of dishonesty and cover-ups. It was chaos, pure political theater, but with real consequences for every taxpayer in this country. Have you ever seen British politics in such disarray? Inside Westminster, journalists described the atmosphere as electric. You could feel the tension in the air. The Labour Party, which once prided itself on discipline, looked like a house of cards collapsing in slow motion. Every resignation was like a domino falling, pulling the party closer to the edge. Meanwhile, the public reaction was explosive. Across the UK, from Manchester to London, protests erupted. People marched with placards demanding accountability. Social media platforms lit up with fury. Hashtags like Starmer resign and Labour collapse trending for days. People were not just angry, they were betrayed. Because this was not about politics in the abstract. This was about their money, their future, their children's schools, their hospitals. And then came the most shocking part. Leaked files showed contracts awarded to companies with no track record, no employees, sometimes no office at all. Shell organizations receiving millions while ordinary families were forced to choose between heating and eating during the cost of living crisis. Do you believe this is mere incompetence, or is it something far darker? Deliberate corruption at the heart of politics. The scandal even caught the attention of Buckingham Palace. Reports suggest that senior royals were privately stunned by the scale of the allegations. Of course, the palace will not comment publicly, but insiders say there is deep concern about what this means for the stability of government in the United Kingdom. At this point, many began asking the question, can Keir Starmer survive? Can a leader preside over such chaos and still claim the trust of the British people? Or are we witnessing the final days of his leadership? What do you think? Should he step down or fight on? Share your views, because your opinion matters here on England. Now, midway through this storm, Starmer addressed the nation. Standing before the cameras, he insisted the contracts were legitimate. He accused rivals of political gamesmanship. He tried to project confidence, but it didn't work. Instead of authority, the public saw hesitation. Instead of strength, they saw weakness. The man once branded the tough lawyer now looked lost, a leader without direction. Did you feel reassured by his words, or did they deepen your doubts? Opposition parties wasted no time. Conservatives hammered Labour's credibility reform. UK positioned themselves as the clean alternative. A growing number of voters are wondering if this is the chance for a new political realignment. Is Labour finished? Could Britain be on the edge of an entirely new political landscape? But let's look deeper, because this is not only about Labour. Some argue this crisis has exposed a wider truth, that the entire political system in Britain is compromised by the influence of money and shadowy networks of donors. Journalists speak of business figures who quietly shape policy from behind the curtain. Is Labour uniquely guilty, or is this the reality of all political parties today? What do you think? As the hours turned into days, the resignations didn't stop. The figure rose past 50, with local councillors and party staff joining the exodus. Labour's grassroots base fractured. Members burned their party cards on camera. Videos of disgust went viral. Millions of ordinary people who once hoped Labour would deliver real change now feel betrayed and abandoned. This isn't just about politics, it's about trust. And once trust is broken, can it ever be rebuilt? The promises of renewal, integrity, and hope have been replaced by the stench of scandal and waste. For many, this feels like the death of faith in democracy itself, a sense that politicians no longer serve the people, but serve themselves. So what happens next? There are whispers of a leadership challenge. A few names have already been floated as potential replacements. Some suggest Labour could try to reinvent itself again. But is it too late? The damage may already be permanent. And if Labour collapses, who will fill the vacuum? Will it be the Conservatives despite their own scandals? Will Reform UK rise, or could we even see the birth of a completely new political force? For now, Britain is watching, waiting, and demanding answers. Will Starmer cling on, or will he bow to the pressure? Will Labour ever regain credibility, or has this scandal sealed their fate once and for all? I want to hear your thoughts. Do you believe Labour can recover? Do you still have faith in Starmer, or is it time for something new? Comment below and let your voice be part of this debate. And if you want to keep up with every twist in this story, make sure you subscribe to England Now Sven and turn on notifications so you never miss the updates that shape our nation's future sources. The independent BBC News, Sky News.